Hey class, so today's lesson is on parallel and perpendicular lines and their equations. Okay, so parallel lines, the definition is lines that run in the same direction and never cross. So in brackets, these lines have the same slope. Okay, so it'd be like boom, and never ever cross. Okay, perpendicular lines are lines that intersect at right angles. So lines that intersect at right angles. So that means at the 90 degrees. So it'd be like boom. Okay, so let's do some examples. So comparing the equations of parallel lines, graph each line on the same Cartesian plane using the method given. Okay, so I'll do them on this one, okay, but we'll solve here first for each one individually. So the first one says table of values. So when I do my table of values, I have my x, I have my 2x minus 3, I have my y, and then I have my point, what x and y end up being. Okay, so the first one, let's plug in -2. So it's going to be 2 times -2 minus 3. So 2 times -2 is -4. -4 take away 3 gives us -7. So our first point, when x is -2, y equals -7. The next one, -1. So 2 times -1 minus 3. So 2 times -1 is -2. -2 minus 3 gives me -5. Okay, so when x is -1, y is -5. Next one, 0. So it's 2 times 0, which is 0, minus 3 gives me -3. So when x is 0, y is -3. Let's do +1. 2 times +1 is 2. 2 minus 3 gives me -1. So when x is 1, y is -1. And last one, we'll do +2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. So when x is 2, y is 1. Okay, so let's do B. Y equals 2x plus 2, and they want the slope and y-intercept method. Well, we know that y equals mx plus b. M is your slope, and this b is your y-intercept. So when I look here, my slope equals 2 over 1. Okay, so that means a positive over 1 positive. The second one is my y-intercept, so +2. So y-intercept equals 2. So that means x is 0, y is 2. Okay, and that is our B. Now, last one, they want us to do x and y intercepts. So when we do the x-intercept, we set y equal to 0. So let's do that one first. So 4x minus 2, but it's times 0 because we're doing the x-intercept, plus 8 equals 0. So it's 4x negative 2 times 0 is 0, plus 8 equals 0. So now we're going to move this 8 over. So it's 4x equals negative 8. To solve for x, we have to divide by 4. Do it on both sides. 4 divided by 4 is 1x. Negative 8 divided by 4 gives us negative 2. Okay, now let's do our y-intercept. So for y-intercept, we set x equal to 0. So it's going to be 4 times 0 minus 2y plus 8 equals 0. So we're left with 2y equals, I'm going to move this over just to skip some steps right now, negative 8. To solve for y, we have to divide by the number in front, so we have to divide by negative 2. So now we have y equals positive 4. Negative 8 divided by negative 2 is positive 4. Okay. So this is negative 2 and y was 0. And this one, x was 0 and y was positive 4. So now we're going to graph these on the other side. So the first one that we're going to do is this one. So I'm going to plot some of these points. I won't plot all of them. I'll just plot maybe the first 3. Okay? So plotting the first 3, we had x was negative 2. Actually, I won't do the first one because it went up to negative 7 and my graph doesn't quite go there. So I'll do negative 1 and negative 5. So x is negative 1, y is negative 5. Next one, we have 0 and negative 3. So 0 and negative 3, put a dot. Then we have 1 and negative 1. So x is 1, y is negative 1. Last one. And x is 2, y is plus 1. I made a mistake here. This should have been positive 1. Okay, 2 and 1. X is 2, y is 1. Okay, so I'm going to draw this as best I can. Okay, so the first one I did in black. Second one, let's do in red. So when we looked at B had our y-intercept of 0 and 2. So x is 0, y is 2. So here's our y-intercept. And then it tells me that my slope is 2 over 1. So we're going up 2 and over 1. So for my y-intercept, so we're going up 2, 1, 2, and then over 1. Put my dot. I can also go down 2, over 1. Put my dot. Okay? So I'm going to draw this as best I can. So that one was in red. And the last one, we'll do it in blue. So this is where we did our x and y intercepts. So over here, I had negative 2 and 0. And then I had 0 and 4. So we're going to plot these. So the first one, negative 2 and 0. So I dot right here. And our second intercept was 0 and plus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to draw this one. Okay, so once again, this is not the greatest because I don't have a ruler, but what we can tell from this is these lines are parallel. Okay? So they will never, ever, ever touch. So it says write the equation of a line in C in slope and y-intercept form and then compare the 3 equations. What do you notice? So C, I'm just going to write that. Oops. I'm just going to rewrite C. Oops. C was this one right here. So 4x minus 2y plus 8. 4x minus 2y plus 8 equals 0. And it wants us to write it in slope y-intercept. So that means we are going to isolate the y, okay? So we are going to isolate y. So we're going to keep negative 2y equals, and I'm going to bring this 4x over. It's going to turn to a negative 4x. And I'm going to bring this y, or 8, over, and it turns to a negative 8. Okay. Now we need to solve for y, so I divide by the number in front. So I divide by negative 2, and I divide everything by negative 2. So negative 2 divided by negative 2 is a positive 1, so we have positive 1y. And then our equal signs lined up. Negative 4 divided by negative 2 gives me positive 2, but don't forget the x. And then negative 8 divided by negative 2 gives me positive 4. So if I look here, it ends up being y equals 2x plus 4. So my y-intercept, my slope is positive 2, which is the 2 over 1. Okay? And my b, which is my y-intercept, is plus 4. So that means x was 0 and y was plus 4. And if we look at that, it is the exact same as these. Okay? Oh, one more. Okay, my y-intercept, look at here. My y-intercept, 0 and 4, and then negative 2 and 0. Actually, the most important thing, what I really meant to say, is that the slopes are all the same. This one, 2 over 1 slope. Okay? When I did it this way, my slope, one more over. Okay, my slope, 2 over 1. So they all have the exact same slope. Okay, so we notice that these slopes are all m equals 2, which means 2 over 1. Okay, and that means, therefore, the lines are parallel. One last thing, I just keep thinking of these as we go. So this one had the slope of 2. Okay. Over here, when we look at this one, this table of values, this one had a slope of 2. And this one had a slope of 2. So after we rewrote this one, we found out that it also had the slope of 2. Okay?